Hello and welcome to another review. This time we're taking a look at the Loop Hero, made by 4 Quarters and published by Devolver Digital. And Loop Hero is a roguelike game where you literally go in a loop on a road and slay monsters, build the world out of tiles, unlock some gear, very RPG style, and between the runs you build up your camp and unlock new things, new cards, new monsters, all kinds of things, new classes, and so on. So let me take a look at this game with you. So this is the main menu of the game, basically. You can see there's options, sound, and usual. You can change the pixel font as well, and there's also, like, by default, the game has the CRT mode on, which I'm not a huge fan of, but some people may enjoy it. The game is obviously made in a very retro style, from music to graphics, and it's not everyone's cup of tea. It is mine, because it's kind of my childhood, and the music is just fire. Some of the songs in this soundtrack are so good, so good. If you like retro style music, just the soundtrack is worth getting. But anyways, let's take a look at the game. So we'll continue our run. So this is a fresh run. I started skip the tutorial and so on, and we need to do our first thing. So this is the camp building. We currently have nothing. The story in the game is basically that well, everything has been destroyed. The whole of reality has been shattered, and it's now a void. And you are the only guy who basically remembers anything, and kind of your memory sparks things and starts rebuilding the world. And you need to do multiple loops and deaths, and to actually start getting some foothold in there. And the more and more you build and remember things, the more things happen. And then from those memories, other things start to remember things, and then so this whole like a build up that springs out of you. So let's check out the build menu. Here's all the buildings in the game, basically, that you can build in your camp. You start with a campfire, which we build here, and then you get more unlocks as you build these, going all the way up to the lumberjacks and breaches and this. And if you mouse over on things, you can see that Field Kitchen, for example, unlocks a Blood Crow card and gives you a campfire healing bonus, and so on. I'll show you more of this camp mechanic after our first quick run. So we're gonna do a first expedition, and I'll load up my other save where I basically have completed the game pretty much 100% at this point, but not to overwhelm you with all the stuff immediately. Let's start from simple things. So we're gonna go for an expedition. The game is composed of chapters. Each chapter has basically building up more power and power. First chapter has 1 to 0 abilities. Enemies are not that great, and they don't grow that huge in a loop, but you also have maximum amount of resources you can have, which you then use to build the camp and unlock other things. Is also capped, and in the next chapter it's higher, and the enemies get stronger and more abilities, and so on, until the last chapter where you have basically no resource cap and you can farm tons of stuff. There's multiple classes in the game. The default one is a warrior, and I don't want to spoil the other ones if you don't want to know what they are. And then there's multiple bosses. This is the first one. We don't know currently what it is, and you can also see class information. Here's your slots, so very RPG style slots. You have a weapon, ring, shield, armor, and then you can unlock these other ones. And other classes have basically different default ones that they unlock, and different weapons and different well, mechanics in general. You can also select your deck building menu, which of course we currently don't have anything we can really add. But we do have ability to remove, so currently we can have 7 to 12 cards, which will increase as you unlock more cards. There's also a minimum of each category that you have to have, depending on the type of the cards. You can see at the top is this circle here, which indicates what type of card they are. Full circle is a card that goes on the path. Half circle is a card that goes next to the path, and then empty circle is goes away from the path, basically. So where these go, don't go, and so on. Well, we'll go with the default deck. So there's cemeteries and groves for monster spawning, spiders, vampires, and so on. These tiles you'll see in a second as we can get going. I mean, need to let's skip all this tutorial stuff. I need to check this. Yeah, let's pause. So you can set pausing after a battle or how you want to, otherwise the game just keeps running. It has this almost like a clicker game type of like an idle game quality, where you just let it run and slay monsters. As combat is automatic and so on. So I'm gonna pause the game here so you can see what's going on. So we have our path here. So this is our camp, the cozy camp we just built, where we also build our other things. We go on around in a circle. The path is randomized each time, and we have some slimes spawning here. So wasteland, absolutely nothing here except well slime. So this has 5% chance of spawning a slime each day on the path, and the day counter is up here, and this is the boss counter. So as you place tiles, or tiles get placed for you, this progresses, and the point is to get to the end and then slay the boss, basically, to finish the chapter. But you can also keep going after the boss has been slain if you want to grind materials, basically. And on the right side here, you have your equipment. We currently have none. And then my maximum my current HP and my inventory for the equipment, and also my stats are down here. We can also run away at any point. So we can retreat to keep 60% of my resources. If you die, you get 30% of resources, and if you retreat at the camp, so basically retire back to camp, you get 100%. So after a boss, for example, you can just quit out and get all your loot, or keep going and then make a couple loops and come out back to camp and exit there. Alright, let's go into a combat. So this is a combat, how combat works. It's just automated, and you just slay a slime, and you get a few items. We got a sword, which we're gonna equip, and a ring with vampirism. So we're gonna drain some life to heal ourselves. And then we go for the next monster. Hopefully we get some tiles to place. So there we go. So we got 3 cards, or tiles, to place on the map. We also heard that rooster sound, so they changed, which affects different cards, or may affect things. You also get some things heal you at the start of the day and so on. So there is effects that happen per each day. So let's look at the cards we got. We got actually good selection of each type of the card, minus the special cards. So we have a grow here, which is on the path tile, as we have the full circle here. And we can place this on anywhere on this path, and this will spawn a rat wolf every 2 days. The wolf can move the adjacent tiles. So this is a monster spawning card, and rat wolves are a specific monster that spawns from this, and then there's other things that combo with this. So I'm gonna place this. It took us about this long to do a day, so about second day, 2 days. So we might actually be able to spawn a rat wolf on this loop here. There's a loop level here, which affects enemies and also affects the level of equipment you find. So the more loops you do, the stronger the enemies get, but also the better gear you get. So sometimes it's worth delaying the loops to get some better gear to defeat the boss, but sometimes you also kind of have to chase the loop, because if the loop level gets too high, you are gonna get crushed. So you might want to try to place as many tiles to spawn the boss and just get the hell out of there before you get destroyed. The other type of card we got is this rock, which goes anywhere. So you can see it goes anywhere except not to the path and not to the side of the path. And rock cards gives you 2 HP and +2 for every adjacent rock or mountain. So there's this combo effect with a lot of it, especially landscape tiles, which is this rock that have like adjacency bonuses when they are next to each other. And there's also cards that change other tiles to different types. Hopefully we can get some of those. So we'll place that. Also placing this gave us a resource. So we got a pebble, and 10 pieces of pebble turns into a rock, and we can use that to then construct things. So this is our inventory of things. There's effects that trigger from getting these as well. So there's a lot of things that like interlink with mechanics, that you do this thing and this thing happens, and then this thing happens and this thing happens. It starts very simple, but it snowballs very quickly. So this is another card. This is the roadside, as I said, one of the 3 types of the cards you can place on the map. This is a battlefield that spawns a chest at the start of each loop. So once I complete this whole loop and get back to my camp, this spawns a chest, basically. But enemies adjacent to this tile can become coast, which is indicated by this blue area here. So we'll place that over there, and we'll just complete a loop quickly. In here, let's see, we got magic damage and a counter. Yeah, let's just equip that. And is this sword? And it's marginally better. There's also, like you can see, this is a blue item, so there's a item quality for items. Gray items, blue items, yellow items, and orange items, basically. How many stats are on an item is affected by the quality. So gray one is just one ability, like this one has evasion, but the blue ring has two. Sometimes it's actually very beneficial to take like a blue or a gray item, because how much stat is split on all the different abilities on the ring. So for example, orange item, which I think is legendary, has 4 abilities or stats on a ring, but it has say 100 that it splits to 25, 25, 25, 25, which can be good. But sometimes you want to focus on a single stat, especially on some of the classes. You may want to get one specific stat. I might want to get like lots of evasion. So if you get evasion boots, that's a gray boot that has 100 on evasion, which, well, you don't get that good. But anyways, that's an example. You might want to focus on one stat. So rarity sometimes doesn't mean that oh, it's just a gray item. I'm not gonna use the orange items are not always the best. And we also got a couple new ones. This is a meadow. So this heals me for 2 points at the start of each day. And I placed it here and it's just a meadow. But if I place this next to any other tile, for example the rock we placed here, this actually gets converted into a blooming meadow, which now heals 3 at the start of each day. So this is one of the changing mechanics for the tiles. So we have a meadow and a blooming meadow. And you get like basically 50% more effectivity out of this blooming meadow when you place it next to other tile, which is not a meadow tile. So if I place a meadow next to a meadow, it's not going to change. Some cards. So we had the rock card. There's also a couple other similar landscape tiles, and they have basically 2 different versions. So rock is the basic one, and then you have a basically better version, which is the mountain. And mountain gives you +5 for each adjacent rock or mountain tile. So this one gives you directly +2 HP, and +2 HP for every other tile next to it. This one doesn't give you anything by default, but it does give you +5 when there's a rock adjacent to it. So we're gonna place that next to that other rock to get +2 on this, and then +5 on this one. And you often create this like a mountain range as like we just keep getting these mountains now. And there's other things you basically keep doing the same thing with as well. Do we get? We didn't get this day complete, so I should have placed the forest somewhere like here. We also got a shield that I'm gonna equip, and this is the end of the first loop for us basically. And since we've completed the loop, the chest spawned over there, and there's the rat wolf that spawned over here. And of course we are the small white guy going around in a loop. So there is now a chest object here, which actually doesn't attack or anything, but it's really good for loot basically. Like here we got a yellow tier 2 item, which is very much better than our current one. We also got an armor. So this is basically very basic of the game, but as I said, this starts quickly snowballing, especially when you start to have a lot of cards on the table, lots of tiles everywhere, lots of monsters spawning, and so on. And sometimes you want to keep things slow, sometimes you may want to spam cards quickly to get the boss spawned, and so on. It really depends on your situation, your class, and so on, what gear you happen to get. And here we got another, this is one of the special cards called Oblivion. This allows me to erase any of the tiles, or any monsters on a tile. So for example, if I use it on this forest here, it's gonna delete the rat wolf and the forest at the same time. And sometimes like we can just get rid of the slime there if you want to. And sometimes it's beneficial to delete things. They are fairly rare cards though, so often worth keeping. You have a maximum size of hand in here, so if you feel this, you start losing basically the cards, but you get crafting materials from having too many things. And we got a spider. Let's put spiders in there. This is a beacon, which also is one of these things that affects range. This gives you movement speed and attack speed for all units, so not just you. And we'll put that over there. And I want to see if we can get a couple of mountain or rock cards. There's another road lantern. This reduces the spawn of enemies by 1 around that radius, so you can actually pile up enough to not spawn any monsters. Oh hey, there's a mimic out of the chest that's attacking us. So I'm gonna try to get 2 more rock cards quickly for that. As you can see, we can place these in here. Of course, we're getting all the Oblivions. As I said, they're rare cards, and when you're showcasing the game, it's like, well, here's all, all of the rare cards for you. There's also, in addition to these normal cards, there's things called golden cards, which allow you to have that in your starting hand immediately, basically, and you can only place one of them in your deck, and then one of them on the board. There is ways to get more, very rare ways, but it's yeah, very rare. And those are usually like fairly game-changing effects. Like one of them is Arsenal that unlocks a whole new equipment slot, for example, or there's one that gives you resurrection ability. So if you die, you resurrect. So this is what I was trying to show. So we have this 3x3 rock area here. I'm gonna add one more, and it's gonna alter the whole thing into a mountain peak now. So it's 120 HP, 5 HP for every added mountain and rock tile, and this now starts spawning harpies. So there's often like you get a benefit, but there's also monsters or something. Kind of like the battlefield that gives you chests and then it spawns ghosts. And this is how a lot of these things work. Like there's a benefit and a more small negative thing. But yeah, this is basically how Loop Meter works. And we're gonna exit out of this, and we're gonna actually run away. So we're gonna retreat out of this. And now there's a few more new things as we started remembering things. This is one of the characters of the story that tells you things. So we got some people. They know this is my campfire, and they're like, oh hey, we saw something here, and we would like to live with you. So there's more people remembering things. And now with the stuff, we could unlock like a field kitchen here to get a new building, get some more people into our camp, and this gives us more healing and unlocks a new card. So if I go to the expedition now here, there's a new card called Blood Crow that combos with Grows that we can now add to our deck. And this is how you unlock new things. As you complete runs, you will get materials. You can upgrade buildings also. There's an upgrade cost that gives me item slots and so on. Let me jump to the different save file. So this is a very end game save file. As you can see, we have the whole city completed with buildings. It's kind of hard to understand if you haven't played the game yet, of course. Lots of housing, every single unlock from here done. We got a multitude of bosses and everything. But what I wanted to show is there's other things that unlock as you complete things. So we have supply, which is items that you can find during missions, and you can build like these sets of items that unlock you things. Like this stool here gives me regen for every stool I have, if I already have regen. And this is a vampire counts a chair, which gives me vampirism if I already have vampirism, and so on. And these buffs are basically over time build up with all the unlocks that makes the further runs easier and maybe even possible. Like the later chapters of the story may be probably impossible without these unlocks. I would say they are impossible, and they do greatly help late game. Like after I've done all these unlocks, chapter 4 used to be really hard for me to beat with especially some of the classes, and with all these unlocks, I'm now basically steamrolling through it, so it helps. So that was the supply. You also have statistics, so all how many things you've killed and everything. You also get the option to craft, so you get crafting materials and these orbs of crafting, and then you can craft more of these items of the specific type you want, which is of course random, but a good way to make like a billion of these over time. You also get Encyclopedia, which shows basically all the available cards. I actually have a couple of these still here unlocked, and you can also get some lore, so you can use these memories to unlock like descriptions of all these buildings and everything. And then you have alchemy, which allows you to convert different types of resources to other types. So if you're missing one type and you want to get a lot of that, you can do that. But yeah, this is basically Loop Hero, and it's a fantastic addicting game. Pretty much everyone who's played this and likes this type of games has been infinitely addicted to this, and they haven't been able to put it down. I literally just played this, and I wasn't even one of the worst cases. I've got 55 hours of this myself, and I just couldn't let it down. I was just like, every day I had to play the game until I completed the game with every class and basically got to this point of the run. And I know there's people who showed up into my live stream and said like, yeah, I played the game 120 hours since the release. It's like, have you actually slept? So if you like retro style, kind of this roguelite type of games, this is a fantastic one to check out. I can highly recommend it for my personal taste especially. But anyways, that's my quick review of Loop Hero. And if you like this review, check out the other reviews and everything else on the YouTube channel. And also check out the live stream. I live stream basically every day on twitch.tv/Pelanar. The links are below. And I play a lot of strategy management games and all of that type of stuff as usual. Same as with the Curator group and on the YouTube channel as well. So that's my jam. You can find me there every day. Come say hi and check out some other games. Also, if you want to support me directly, other than just watching, you can check out my Patreon, which will be linked on the screen on the video and also under the video. So if you want to check out some of the Patreon perks and everything there, I would encourage you to take a look at that. It helps me tremendously and allows me to keep going and doing these kind of videos and also the live stream content. But anyways, thank you for watching this review of the Loop Hero. Hope you check it out, and I'll see you guys next time on the next video.